Might have kicked me out of the bed there. Yo, it's your boy Jay Steady.
It's your girl Toya.
With the Jolly Homestead.
Welcome back to our channel.
What they do, what they do, what they do.
Alright, so are you guys ready to hear the real deal about off-grid living? Like, the stuff people don't tell you about, or just the stuff that you want to ask that you don't really ask, or the stuff that you want to know but you don't even know that you need to know that, right?
Pretty much we finna answer all the questions that we got on our channel that we seen people constantly ask in Facebook groups, in the comments on YouTube. We finna answer all of them questions. And after 2 years of off-grid homesteading and trying to survive and making shit happen out here, we finna answer all them questions.
All of them.
All right, let's jump into it.
So the first thing we want to talk about is money, which to me anyway, I think that it's like a major factor when it comes to homesteading, and like being nervous about homesteading because you thinking you ain't got enough money to do it. You do, right? Right.
So you got the low and the high of when it comes to homesteading. You got it doing it I'm gonna do it my way, however I get it done. I'm gonna look for free shit. I'm gonna make do with what I can find and what I already have and what I can afford. Now that's fine and good too. And then you got I got money. I'm gonna bring builders out here. I'm gonna build this shit up real fast. And I'm gonna be done with it. And everybody gonna be happy and jolly and satisfied, and we gonna buy a fucking tractor to plant our garden, and we gonna, move all this shit around and push trees over with a tractor.
Get a stump grinder.
Yeah.
Those were all of the things that we were like, oh, we finna get this, we finna get that. But then when it boiled down to it, we was like, we ain't got the money for all that. Like, and it works out perfectly fine. So we just want to let y'all know, like, you don't have to have an excavator. You don't have to have a stump grinder. You don't have to have all those big, expensive-ass tools that you see people with. Like, ain't knocking nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kudos to everybody else in their homestead. But for us, that just can't happen for us. Like, we can't get no excavator.
All right, so
well, we
money.
can, but
The first year we was out here, we spent almost $10,000 just on tools and shit to try to like develop the land. Like whether it was renting shit or buying rock or actually buying an auger or a tiller or a generator,
a wood chipper. Shit, we had a
saws, nail guns, air compressors. We was buying all kind of shit. We was in the store so much buying shit because it was like every time we needed to do something, we was like, ooh,
let's go
how
get
can
it.
we do this?
And
we would look up shit and be like, ooh, that's the easy way of doing it. Ooh, we gonna till the land, so ooh, let's buy a $500 tiller. It's like, ooh, we need to plant posts. Let's go buy a $300 auger. You see what I'm saying? It was like we could have bought that $14 hole digger, and it would have took a
like
longer time, but we would have still got shit done. So and then we ended up running into a lot of dead ends when it came to that. Like when it came to like the funds going low, and then you need like building materials, or you need this, or y'all might need clothes for the winter. And shit like that. Now you done spent all this money, you kind of like regretting that shit, and then we went through the stage of now we gotta sell that shit back, and we gotta let's sell the wood chipper so we can.
And now that we've sold all that stuff, And we're still
sell it all.
Yeah, we sell it all.
We ain't sell it all.
But now that we've sold a bulk of the stuff, now we realize that we can do just fine without it. Like, it ain't hurting us to not have it. So we're telling you, like, you don't need all of that stuff to make it out here.
Like weigh your options. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to start building, and if a hammer and nails is in your budget, stick to your budget.
Yep.
Like, don't go out and try to impress, because what we was really trying to do was, not only were we trying to build shit really fast, but we was trying to impress too with the shit that we was using. We felt that a hammer and nail wasn't camera worthy, and to see us doing that shit is like, that's gonna take too long.
Yep.
So we want it up quick. We want to drop the nail and keep going, you know. And it's like, if that's not in your budget, do what fits you.
Yeah, the fastest way to get to where you want to go is to do it slowly. That's the fastest way to get there. So, hammer and nails, do it. One of them hand tillers, do it. Work out the muscles, get in shape. You know what I mean? So just take it as it's happening for you and not to you. All that stress and hard work pays off. We've heard that over and over again, and it really applies. Like, it really matters.
So now, with that being said, like, you spend all this money on power tools. We spent all this money, and then we ran into hurdles of shit. Like, now it was shit that we really needed, that we needed to get money for.
Like what? What's your money?
Like food.
Oh yeah.
Like clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, how did we make money to afford these things, to get these things and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I would say, like, for us, because of how we do it, we run our own businesses. So that's basically how we make our money. So we make homemade soaps. We make herbal cigarettes or herbal pre-rolls. We make spiritual jewelry. What else? Body butters, sugar scrubs, bath soaps, beard balms, just oils. Body oils, massage oils. Listen.
They get the picture.
Yeah.
They get the picture on the cosmetic of it. You also do readings and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, I do the tarot readings.
I also do like DoorDash and Spark delivery.
Yeah, but then we also sell like the animals on the homestead. That's a really good.
But that ain't. Yeah, so all those are means of funds. I'm not gonna knock either one of them. Even like I said, all this fucking power tools you buy and shit, you better go cut some grass, and you know it's a bunch of ways that you can get money. It's all kind of shit. You know, you just gotta market some of that shit, sell some of your old shit. You know, it's all kind of ways. It's all kind of ways you can get money out there. You just gotta put in the effort. You got to be willing to go get the money. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like selling the animals off the homestead for profit within the first 2 years, like, you know, that was a struggle. That was a struggle. Like, you would get people that would buy it and stuff, but you got to build your clientele. You got to find connects. You got to connect with people. You got to learn to, you know, market yourself, like with the soap. And we would get out there and actually market ourselves and put ourselves out there and say, like, hey, yeah, you know, we sell soap too. Hey, you know, instead of selling the soap for $3, sell that bitch for $2. You know what I'm saying? And make it more, you know, people want to buy it more. Make it, you know, more
affordable.
Yeah, affordable, appetizing.
Yeah, aesthetically pleasing. You know, financially pleasing. Yeah.
So you gotta have hustle in you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, just because you say like you ain't got no bills, you still got bills. Like you got your phone bill. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your car payment.
Bill. Yeah.
You got gas. You know, every time it's taking you 45 minutes to get to the city. You know, every time you go out.
And then you gotta put gas in the generator.
Yeah.
To run your power tools and charge your phone.
Your tools and all that stuff. So, you know, you're gonna need money. You're gonna need money. You're gonna have to have a way of making money. Now I'm gonna say this. Now, if you got a $22 an hour job, that don't mean that you can't go and work a part-time job at $10 an hour or whatever and still come out the same as you would if you stayed in the city paying $4,000 for an apartment a month. You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
Because it's people out there paying that shit.
$4,000?
In Lauderdale.
They ain't paying no $4,000.
Babe, you better look up the rent, what they charging right now. But
I threw you off.
Damn, you threw me. But you know what I'm saying? Because what you're doing is you go into this job that you consider in a good ass job, and that if you can homestead and keep your good ass job, do that by all means. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Don't quit your job. But if you feel like you done working just to pay bills in a city where all you do is go to this place and sleep, you know what I'm saying? You can come out here and you can hustle and make money, and you will still come out the same. You will still have the same type of money because you ain't got all those bills, that light bill, that cable bill, and that rent and all that shit, or that mortgage or whatever it might be, that's sucking all your money up. So you left with more money when you ain't really got money to spend on shit. You know what I'm saying? You going out and every month you just buying your feed, you know, to feed your animals, shit. You gonna buy a couple of outfits for the month, you know, a pair of shoes or whatever it might be that you want and you gonna do, but that shit ain't gonna be nothing because shit, if you out here working on the land, you ain't wearing none of that shit. You ain't going nowhere. You staying put. So it's like eventually you get tired of doing the shit that you used to do in the city. So you end up saving a lot of money out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You do. All right.
Still here working. I know. Yeah, put your tools away.
The next one is comfort. How the hell are we comfortable out here in these trees, right? So some things that we want to talk about is like the bathroom, nature's room, right? How do we use the bathroom? You want to start it?
All right. So being comfortable out here in these trees, that's me. That's my nature. That's how I was built. You know, so it's like I prefer this. I prefer to go out in nature, and I always used to say when we first met, I used to tell her like, shit, I buy me some land and go sleep in my tent with my dog. And back then it was a joke. But that's just how serious I was about like being in nature and stuff. You know, when we stayed in Lehigh, I would let the kids camp outside with a big old bonfire and stuff in the backyard and tell them like, if you gotta go to the bathroom, you better go pee in the bush. You know, and so when it comes to out here, like all that was already down my alley. I was already all for it. So like peeing, and when we first came out here, we looked up the compost toilet and stuff. So it was like I was already for it. I was already with it. Like, let's compost it. Let's do it the pioneer way, and go back to the old ways and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck the toilet.
But we do have a toilet. But the way that the toilet works for us is we have, your standard like paint bucket. We have bucket, and then if you go,
a toilet seat too.
Yeah, if you go in the camping section in Walmart, you'll find that they have like a toilet seat. So you attach that toilet seat onto the bucket, and that's how we use the bathroom. And then we go to Tractor and Supply, and we buy what is
sawdust. pine shavings.
The pine shavings.
The fine one. You gotta buy the fine one. Don't buy the wood chips. You're gonna get way more if you buy the fine ones.
And every time you use it, you just put that on it and it cover up. You don't really have no smell. You don't have none of that. You just take you a handful of that pine shaving and put it in there, and then once the bucket gets full, Jay changes it
because don't nobody else change it. They'll use the shit until it's damn near to the rim, gonna touch their ass, and then they'll say, who filled the bucket up?
So yeah, and then you put it into your compost pile, and you just keep adding to it, and eventually it's gonna pile up to where you be like, all right, we ain't finna add no more, and that sits there for a whole year and makes some good compost, right? Dirt.
And we've done that. Listen, we've done that every year we've been here when we first started, and you come out here and that's your only means of using the bathroom is you got to go in the bucket. It's like, when we first started it, the first bucket full was like, oh shit, like where do we dump this shit? You know what I'm saying? So we had to find a place to start it off. And once we found a place to start it off, we started one, and then it was like next thing you know, we had another one. And then this one that we first started was, just sitting there, and the rain and the sun came and composted it, and then bam, it was like one day I walked past and it was like, oh shit, this some good ass dirt, and it was like it jumped off from there, and then we used the shit and got good results, and so it became a cycle, and now we keep them in rotation on, we move. Once one gets too big, we change on the spot and move and let that one go ahead and do what it do. It won't take long for it to break down as long as you keep it hot and moist. It won't smell. It doesn't smell. It doesn't hold a smell. When I use it, I don't use gloves or none of that. It's bare hands. We go in it, it's bare hands, and it actually smells sweet, like a sweet soil type of smell. Make sure that it's composted. If you turn in it and you see clumps or pieces of something brown smearing, do not touch that shit. It is not ready.
It's not ready.
It needs to look like soil, like almost like it'll be dusty, dirty. It needs to be fully broke down. You'll be able to tell it have a lot of worms and whatnot.
It'll be a very dark, very dark color. You'll be able to see it. Like you'll be able to tell it. You'll be able to see it. Like you're gonna acknowledge it.
You will know that it's ready. Yeah,
you're gonna be real proud of it too. Like, oh shit.
If you think that it's not ready, it's not ready. It's not ready. Now you can't just say, nah, that shit ain't gonna never be ready for me, cause I ain't gonna never touch it. You can't say that. But you can say that, but if you willing to give it a shot, it's like bomb. You gonna throw it where you gonna dump it at anyways. If you go off grid, where you gonna dump it at anyways? Now this ain't for the people who homestead and have sewer and all that, but if you completely off grid and you thinking about doing a compost toilet, you like the idea, you might as well use it because you're gonna have to dump it somewhere anyway.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So you might as well use it. You ain't gotta necessarily put it for vegetables or fruits. You can just put it on a regular tree and add more nutrients to that tree. So that's using the nature room. As far as like peeing and stuff like that, we don't pee in the same compost bucket because that'll create a smell. That'll make your bucket become very funky. So we try to limit that as much. For the girls, it's kind of a little harder.
We can't. It's inevitable.
But we try to limit that as much as possible as just peeing in the bucket that we were pooping. We have 2 buckets for that. So one is for this and one is for that. And what that does is that drains out, so that drains out the bucket into the grass, but it's just a form of, so it's still kind of like, it fits naturally. Like what we've been used to, using a toilet. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you pulling the pants down and doing the old stupid. You know. What else about the bathroom?
Shower. Like, how do we shower, right? So it's you got two options, right? You got two options. So, one, you can take a cold shower, which a cold shower is very healing. You know what I mean? But that shit is cold. So sometimes you don't want to take no cold shower or no cold bath. So you have the option of getting you a pot, boiling some water. You know what I'm saying? Getting you one of your. We have like a bathroom bucket. Only water really goes in there. Nothing else really goes in there. And you half it with your cold water and dump the hot water in there. Soap up, and that's how you can do it. Now, if you're gonna go the shower method, like with the hose, the best thing that I could say to do is to stoop down into a ball and wet your whole body, because you get your whole body wet all at once, because it's gonna take away your breathing, it's gonna take away your breath. So, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it when it comes to showering. I mean, it ain't no big deal, right?
Yeah. And like I said earlier, right, we bought a whole lot of equipment and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like we bought a whole lot of shit. So everything that we could think of, we was like, ooh, we gonna take a shower. We need a hot water heater, and we need a way to heat up the water. So what we did, we went out and bought a hot water heater. We bought a hot water heater that we still have not connected, because we have not got the official bathroom
set up, yeah.
Right? Because we ran into so many obstacles and so many things over these couple of years that put everything out. It was like we wanted to do it, but something came up. You know, it was like the weather, whether it was the weather or it was family or any obstacle that we could run into, it would throw things off. And it was like we started building the house, and then we cut that shit down, you know.
Yeah.
So that put us back on the house. And so it was like we never set up the propane tank and the hot water heater, because it was like we want to wait and get the bathroom up. We don't just want this sitting out somewhere.
And so then that'd be another bill that we would have.
Or we could end up damaging it or losing it, or possibly starting a fire or something, and that was not
fully appreciated.
Yeah. So we definitely learned to like step back and take things slow and actually like just like she said, the cold showers are healing. We learned to like really just appreciate things for what they was. You see, because before we got the water pumping and all of that, it wasn't really no shower. It was just a bucket. And once we actually was able to take a shower, it was like, shit, that was everything in the world. Right now. Like,
it sure was.
Life.
It sure was.
And it was like, goddamn, when the first pump stopped on us, it was like, oh shit, like what we gonna do now? Water getting low. You know, so
it sure was.
Yeah,
it sure was. We hooked it up to a hose with a water hose, like the sprinkler one. We hung that thing on the clothesline. Listen, and if you take the cold shower, like when the sun is up, that's the best thing right there. Woo! A cold shower in the heat.
In the daytime, you gotta kind of wait, cause that shit'll be hot from the sun too. Like the sun will be done made the tank so hot that the water be hot. You feel me? So it's that worked as a thing too. You know, if you wanted a warm shower, you had to take it when it was kind of still warm outside, or just finished start setting, because the water would still be warm.
Or you better heat up that water on that fire. Listen.
Or sometimes what I do is I just start a fire right there next to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel the heat coming out the fire. So.
All right. What else you got on here? AC and lights. AC. How we do it with no AC? How we doing with no AC?
The first year, like I said, we bought everything that fucking could possibly think of. So we bought an AC.
Yep, we bought a wild AC for our tent. It go right into the little tent slide.
So,
listen.
And then that became a thing because they, especially Toya, wanted to just sit in the tent in the AC, just turn it on.
It's hot.
Listen, so
it was hot.
And then we kind of needed that because the first year Light was a little baby.
Yeah.
You know, so we kind of needed that
cool
AC.
air for her.
Yeah, and it was the midsummer when we first came out here. So, but then after that first year, we learned from the first time that we cut all the trees down in the area and to set up, and that shit was too hot. So we learned the next time when we moved to another spot in the land, we left some of the trees for shade.
So now we got shade. Yeah, we got shade. And then also it's just wear the appropriate clothes. Like get you some spaghetti strap shirts, some shorts, you know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta be comfortable. That was the thing. Like because our first year we had a whole bunch of ticks. So we were always like in long sleeve shirts and long sleeve pants because we were trying to avoid, getting bit by ticks. Our second year, we didn't really have a problem with ticks. We had more of a bee problem. So it's just like dressing for the occasion. You know what I'm saying? Get you some hats. Sit in some shade. You know what I mean?
And if you get too hot working or something, take a break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like like I said, we moved into the shade, so it's like down there now. Anytime if you was to go down there to the cabin site, it's always cool.
It's cool.
You know what I'm saying? Especially now the leaves growing back, it's cool. And then we still having cold weather here. So and then in Tennessee, it's kind of the weather be tricky. Like it'll be 90 degrees at night. No, I mean in the daytime, but then at night it'll get down to 45. Like so you will be like, whoo. So early in the morning, so at night you actually too cold. And then it'll heat up real fast in the morning.
And that's where it comes in with heating your water for your bath. Because at night it will get cold real quick.
Real quick.
So you gotta have that hot water.
Cool down so fast.
Real quick. Yeah. The next one is lights. How do we do with new lights?
Lights. So lights, the old light switch, when it first came out here, we was always used to hitting that light switch. So it was like when it was dark, it was like everybody was like, up,
time to go in.
Party's over. Boom. Like, but then eventually we adapted to it. We was like, it's dark. Boom. Like we still outside with it. We started fires. We had our flashlights. It was like, shit, sometimes you'll walk to the truck without a light because you just knew. Like you knew like, all right, it was good and you could go straight there.
For me, I really like being out here in nature, when it's a full moon, it is bright as shit out here. Like you really don't need a flashlight. Yeah,
you can see.
Yeah, so I love that part. Like when it's the full moon, you don't need a light, and you really want to sit outside, like
you
because
can like walk around and see the frogs and shit. And like I don't know, when we was in Florida, I ain't see as many stars in the sky. Like so, it's like it's real beautiful at night when you outside. So it's like we started like learning and appreciating things like that. Like damn, there's so many stars in the sky. Like let's sit outside. You know what I'm saying? Let's start a fire tonight and just sit out there.
Some nights we take the top, like if we know for sure it's not gonna rain, we take the top off of the tent and we sleep under the stars. Ooh, listen. Beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. To watch, to let the moon watch you sleep. Listen. I think that was it on like comfort. Right?
Lights. Solar.
Oh yeah, solar.
We do solar panels. We do use a generator. But certain things like for our pump, we use a solar panel. We plan to convert from solar panels, from the generator to solar panels as a charging source.
We use. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. And that's pretty much much it on how we use the lights and power.
Yeah.
We got big floodlights that we'll light up the whole damn property at night if we needed to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
And then we've got your typical like solar lights that you put in your garden. We've got those trailing all the way down our path. So like if we do come home at night, it's lit just enough for us to like see our path. Yeah. So we have those all throughout the property, and even in front of our tents, which is the next thing we got to talk about, like living in a tent. They want to know.
They want to know about living in a tent?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the time, making sure the time was right. Yeah. But I don't care. You know what I'm saying? We're going to leave that in there. You know what I mean?
So, living in a tent. We done been through so many fucking tents. Like, we done been through a lot of tents. And I think the biggest issue that we had with it was the freaking zippers. They always break. They always break on the tents. Our first one that we had like a big, huge three-room
cabin tent.
That lasted us for a couple of months, maybe like 2.
It did our whole year. It lasted our whole year. The only problem was the only problem with that tent was that when it came wintertime, we learned why the fuck you needed a 4-season tent. Listen, we only had a 3-season tent.
Yeah, it wasn't ready for the snow.
So it was cold as shit in there, right? It was cold as shit in there. And then eventually it got so cold in the winter that first year that we had never experienced nothing like that before, that we bucked. We bucked and went to the city, right?
Yep.
And we came out here one day to feed the animals, and within 30 minutes a snowstorm came, and everything was snowed in. We got stuck in the snow. I caught frostbite trying to push us up out of the snow.
Frost nip.
Frost nip, but that shit was biting. You feel me? So you know it was a good tent. It had a lot of rooms. Everybody had their own little exit or whatever.
We had our own little pantry area remember the back one? I used to, with all the little bins, I used to make all the little snacks and stuff for the day. Like, that's where we kept our food and stuff like that. But we learned, like, we shouldn't do that. But yeah, that was like the zippers were the only issues that we had. We tried.
It's always
the zipper. We tried to like repair the zipper. Like we tried to like kind of like shoestring it back so we could tie it closed. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we were trying to avoid having to buy more tents. Like as soon as one break, we wasn't trying to buy another one.
That first year we went crazy and money was scarce, so it was like shit. Instead of buying a tent, we're going to go buy a zipper and try to fix it.
Try to sew it on there.
That shit ain't work. So she developed a system where she put little rope together and we would tie that shit every night to close one of the doors, you know? And then when the snow came and hit the tent, it collapsed the tent. Then we had the tent like all tarped and stuff so that it wasn't no rain would get on it or none of that. Like we had canopies and all that, and it shut everything down. We lost clothes, books, all that in that tent in the snow. So we learned that, like, oh shit, we need a better form of storage and where to put our shit at, you know, and we can't have clothes in here, you know.
So then after that tent, the next tent we bought a tent for us, and then we bought a tent for the kids. So it was kind of like they had their own room. So they kept their stuff in theirs. We kept our stuff in ours. And then what happened to theirs? Then their zipper broke. So we bought them 2 new tents, like separate now. We bought them 2 new tents, and then we used that second tent as a storage unit again. Like, that's where we stored our clothes, our books. Did we keep food in there? We kept like dry goods.
No, we ain't keep no food in there.
In that second one?
Oh.
That was right in the center?
Oh, you talk about, I thought you talking about that.
Yeah, and then.
Oh, yeah, that was,
Yeah.
But that was after the snowstorm?
Yeah, that was after the snowstorm.
Yeah. We came back. When we came back, we were trying to get shit back to right and together and like get back on track, and it was kind of like, you know, from there it was kind of like we needed to leave that spot because
it was getting too mucky. It was getting like when it rained, because we do have clay soil, it wasn't a good look. We eventually we started to okay, well, let's go and buy some straw and let's put the straw down to absorb all of the clay stuff. But eventually that just got all mucky again, and that was another tab that we was adding. You know what I'm saying? That was another bill that we was adding to it. Although it was like $3 or $4, it's like after a while you don't want that. And then the straw was doesn't it keep bugs and stuff in it?
Yeah, bugs was in there and stuff. We found little baby snakes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
shit like that. Yeah. So.
And then it just became time for us. He cut down further for the cabin, and we started building down there. So then we were finally let's just go ahead and move ourselves down there right now, because it's just getting too mucky and it was too hot. We cleared that whole area, so the sun was always beating down on us. So we just moved it down to the bottom and got more tents again. But now, we got more tents again, but now we found us a 3-door tent. So just in case one door closes, we got another one that's gonna open. Boop. Okay. Next, let's see. Rain. How do we do with weather? So what, 2-3 days ago, we just had hail. We had a hailstorm. That shit hurt.
While we was out here, that shit happened so fast.
Real quick.
Boom. It came through, it went to drizzling, and then next thing you know,
he was screaming, "Get them babies!" I'm like, why? He running. That hail was hitting. So we had to
run in the storage room and stay in there. And Savage jumping in the car.
What else? That's the second time we've had hail. The first time we had hail,
it wouldn't have affected us if we was in the tents. The tent hold up to shit like that. It wasn't like we was running away from the tent to get to the storage room. It was more like we just was up top, which we called upstairs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's we was up top, and for us to run down to the cabin, it's like hell no.
Yeah, we had
to go to the first place because it was coming down hard. You know?
We had to cover ourselves with the yoga mats because
it was blowing in there it was hell everywhere.
It was hell or hail?
It was hell. It was hell.
This is the second time we've had hail. The first time we had hail was overnight or something like that, and
a thunderstorm came.
Yeah, a thunderstorm, and I woke up and I'm like, babe, we gotta go. We gotta go. And when I'm screaming,
we had to run to the city then.
No, remember we had. I think we had to.
Oh yeah, we waited it out in the truck. We ain't go. We was finna go though.
Yeah, we slept. I fell asleep, but we slept in the truck for 2 hours waiting on the storm to pass, because it was just the wind, and then it was a tornado warning, all kinds of stuff. So, it get powerful out here, but
it's our peaches and cream for me. Listen, I love every moment of it. I never have a stale moment. I've never wanted to go back to the city. I've never wanted to be oh man, oh man, we shouldn't have came out here. Oh man, I love every moment of it. It ain't not a dull moment where it's even in the times when you exhausted, you don't want to do shit out here. It's look past the exhaustion and that is too much hard work and all this shit, and just sit back and relax and enjoy the shit. Take off your shoes and get ground.
Yeah, rest.
And walk the land.
Rest.
Hug some trees and shit.
Listen.
You see what I'm saying? Talk to your plant.
Wait, we gotta talk to we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that later.
So it's so much shit that that this change is about you out here. that it's like, you know, you think like, all right, man, I'm tired of working my job, man. I don't want to work no more. If you ain't got money to hire a team and come out here, your ass gonna work. You gonna bust your ass.
And you'll never be in the same place like every day. Like one day you may be over here, the next day you may be at the spring, the next day you cutting, the next day you doing firewood. So it's never, like I would say, it's never a very planned out. It's like wherever you go is.
And you gonna adjust to it. It ain't gonna be nothing to you. And the first day gonna be hard. The first day I came out here, you know, that sun was hitting me, boy. Like I had never worked like that before. Like I had worked like that before, but just to be out here constantly, you know, you gotta constantly cut down trees. You carrying a heavy ass chainsaw. You trying to move out of the way of trees falling. You running in and out. It's hot. That sun beating on you. You can't even really drink water because you feel like you finna throw up. That real exhaustion. And then now, it's like I get out there for hours with that chainsaw and just tree after tree.
All day.
Listen, that's so meditating for me. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like me out there, I get lost in my mind out there cutting them trees and it's like today. Like shit, we came back today. We just came back today. And my first thought was, damn, I need to cut grass, right? But I just fell off a four-wheeler. You see what I'm saying?
Sorry,
right?
It ain't funny.
So I'm hurting, but I'm all right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you will get used to always having to work. It's like, you know, you go have your fun, you come back, this shit got to be done. You know, a fire got to be started. So you got to go get that firewood. You know what I'm saying? You got to start that fire. Tea, you got to be on it. You cooking, you got to be on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody play their role. But we try to all help each other out. Try to get in with each other. And you feel me?
Absolutely.
And that's why sometimes we get lost. We got lost with the recording because it was like
so much stuff was having to be done.
And then we all trying to get a hold of all that shit. So it's like, not only do the kids got attitude, but we as the adults got attitude and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we like, shit ain't going right. So it's like when it comes time to recording that shit, like, man, put that camera down, man. You know, we don't want to do that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's kind of like y'all trying to figure shit out.
Let's see. Bugs. Which we touched on bugs a little bit.
Them damn ticks.
She need to be sprayed with that tick spray. Speaking of ticks, like the ticks out here, we want to get guineas because they say that guineas will eat the ticks, but then they also say that if you buy guineas, you basically buy them for your neighbors because how do you say?
Yeah, they say the guineas ate all the neighbor ticks. It's like, you know, like they got guineas and then the guineas went to the neighbor's property and ate all their damn ticks, but left all the ticks on their land. So it's like, you know, people, they say you gotta cage them up for 15 weeks. 13 weeks or something like that. You gotta keep them enclosed for 13 weeks so they can, you know,
get acclimated to your land.
But that's an easy method. Like, one thing I'm gonna say about being out here is you're gonna always learn that shit must be done. Right? So if it's raining, you're gonna get shit done. Like, you're gonna still get shit done. So if it takes me caging up my guinea for 15 weeks to eat all the ticks,
that's what you're gonna do.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy them as little chicks or pellets or whatever they call them, and I'm gonna raise them up. I'm gonna have to keep them in anyways.
True.
So
that's how we do that.
Yeah. So until 15 weeks, boom, and then I let them out. You cold, baby?
You know it. So the first year, like I said, we had a huge problem with ticks, but that was just because this was raw land. So we basically cleared all of this. So we was messing with their nests or their homes or whatever. So we had a huge tick problem, and he got the most of it. Like, he looked like, y'all ever had like chicken pox and then you scratch chicken pox and then later on you got like the scar from it? That's how he looked. He looked like he got chicken pox, like, or he had chicken pox. The second year we had a problem with yellow jackets. I never knew that there was an issue.
You know I'm sweet.
You such a Jew. Stop it.
It's so dusty. It was in the storage room.
You made me forget what I said. Thank you, baby.
But yeah, I look like somebody put a pump full of BBs and hit my ass with a boom. You feel me?
So yeah, the second year we had a problem with yellow jackets, which I didn't know that them motherfuckers ate regular food. Like, I was like, well, why don't they? I know, because it's all dusty.
Oh, I bet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, they eat regular food, so we had a problem with them. Moon got stung once or twice. Yeah, we done all got stung except for 3J. 3J hasn't gotten stung by a yellow jacket, and he gonna tell you, he gonna brag about it, right? Yeah. And then we have biting flies and mosquitoes. The biting flies, we don't really have that many mosquitoes, but them biting flies, them things hurt, and they're so tiny, but them things, yeah, make you slap yourself, like, for real.
But the ticks is the worst.
Yeah.
We gotta do something about them ticks. They be everywhere, dog. Listen, dog. They'll bite you everywhere, dog. Listen, dog. They'll bite you everywhere. They will get your ass. Listen, they will bite you. Listen. Dog, they bit me like 6 times in a row on my back. Like, you know what I mean? It looked like I had a bump tattoo, bitch. You feel me? They'll listen. They will bite you
everywhere.
And kind of like me, I think what it is with me, like, mosquitoes don't really bite me. So when the ticks get on me, it's like, it's something, they bite me, they be like, nope, not that spot. So it's like
he has a trail.
Like, bite my ass everywhere. Like, and every now and then I'll find them like I'll find one latched, but they usually don't be latched to me. It's more like I feel them crawling on me and stuff, and I be like, oh man.
It's like, making me itchy just thinking about it.
You gotta,
sorry, y'all.
Listen, it's keeping them ticks off you is like a job in itself out here. So listen, bugs, listen, spiders, we got everything out here, spiders and all that, but the ticks is the problem.
Yeah, spiders don't bother us at all.
Problem.
Yeah, them ticks. And then they'll search for you too. Like they gon' turn around.
They hang off of leaves.
Yeah, they hang on with their arms open, waiting to grab onto you. Yeah, that's what they do.
They on the grass. Anyway, anytime we hitting a new area and cutting out a new area, we already know what time it is. Yep. We already know they out there. And we kind of know to check each other because of it.
Yeah. We do. Yeah. All right, next topic is water.
Okay, so water. As far as like drinking water?
I don't know. We just put water on it.
Okay, so water, we pump our water.
Yeah.
250 feet up here.
Yep.
From a natural spring. What we did with that is we'll do a video on it because I'm gonna go do that again. I'm gonna redo it for the 3rd or 4th time. Yep. One of them. It's a learning process out here. Like you, boy, listen. You gonna do it
more than once. So
it ain't failing if you got to do it more than once. It's failing if you give up. You know what I'm saying? And every time I find something new that I didn't like, the first time I redid it, it's because I ain't like the pipes, and then the second time it was because the dam fell on me. You know, it went collapsing on me, and now I'm redoing it again because I just don't like using that type of dam, and I want to do something more of like a concrete block structure. But pretty much what I did was I ran 2 PVC pipes, and one is for overflow and the other is for a main pipe. And I let the water from the spring build up behind the dam and run through the pipe into a 5-gallon bucket that I have dug into the ground. And in that 5-gallon bucket is a pump with the lid covered it. and then it has a overflow run pipe. So the spring continues to run as long as the pump ain't pumping, or even sometimes if the pump is pumping, because we pump about 2.5 gallons from the spring. We produce about 2.5 gallons a minute from the spring. So the pump, it kind of keeps up with that, and you know, in the daytime when the sun come out and it get that solar panel going, pump turns on and it pumps into the IBC totes at the top of the hill, at the highest point of our property. And then from there, we gravity feed the water down. All this done with water hose and pump. Yeah. Water hose and a pump and fittings. You know, the fittings and stuff. We gravity feed it down to 2 tanks down by the cabin, which we fill them up, and then we also have a tank over here for the fruit forage. And as far as that, we divide that line that's running back down into lines, and that goes to where it needs to be, and we shower from that, we wash dishes from that, we all of that.
Water the animals, water the grass, water the plants, like.
And the extra 2 tanks down there, we have them filled, but we really don't use them that much because they more for like the cabin and stuff. But we still working on that. We still doing that area up out there. Yeah, but that's it. And if we drink that water from the spring, we do nothing to it. Every now and then I throw some bleach tabs in the tank. Why I do that? I don't know. I don't know why I do that. I just do it. I just do it. I heard it from somewhere, and I just do it. You know, I drop 2 tabs in each tank. Boom. I don't even think that's equivalent enough to the water, but, you know, sometimes I do it, and you can smell it when I first do it sometimes. But it's you know, the water, we don't have no problem with it, really. It don't. I've drank it straight from the spring before. Yeah. Didn't get sick or anything, but we do boil it if we gonna drink it. We boil it and chill it before we do anything. We make tea, we let it come to a boil first. You know, anything like that, you boil it. As far as washing with it and brushing our teeth with it, it's straight out the spring. It's straight out the tote, you know. So it ain't really touched with nothing, but every now and then a couple of bleach tabs if I remember. You know, whenever I say,
I'm finna, I'm finna drop some in there. Yeah. So, okay. Next thing is food and cooking. This is where that fire come in. He has a fire going every day, all day, purifies the air. So you got the option of cooking on like the grill or a fire type of setup. So what we have is we got a couple of them. We got a fire pit down by the cabin. Where we cook, we have the cinder blocks set up real nicely, and we got some grill racks on there, and you could just, you know, he does the fire, he got that going. Or we also have two butane burners. So like on those days when it's raining and we can't get out here to cook, we have our butane grill things that you just buy the canister. It's like $3 or whatever, and you put it in, and we good to go. So that's the option for you guys. Like, do you want to tell them what we plan on doing with the generator setup thing?
What you mean?
With the stove.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what we plan on doing is we plan on creating like a kind of a room, an open room, of course, with the generator, and we plan on getting a stove in here, so that we can just plug up the stove to the generator so that we can cook on the stove too. And we also plan on using that for a washing machine too. But, you know, that's just our thoughts of how we want to...
That's some homestead rabbit.
That's our thoughts on, like, you know, where we want to go eventually, like, with this homesteading thing. Like, at least before the solar panels and stuff like that comes in. So, yeah. Let's see. The next thing is city life. How you feel about that city life?
City Life, this life.